Guys. Okay, so I just tried to make this video and I got a little bit rambling, so I'm gonna try not to do that this time. Basically what I want to talk to you guys about today is book habits, book buying habits, stuff like that. Because I am going to try to put myself on a book buying ban without it actually being a book buying ban. Which, yeah, I'll explain. Basically, like, and I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, you've done this like a million times. Why do you think you can still do this? Like, no. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, I'm giving myself some exceptions to this, if that makes sense. And basically, okay, what happened was the other day I was looking through my shelves for a book, and I have enough unread books, like I own enough unread books to last me a few years. And that is not acceptable to me. Like, I keep wanting to have books, but like at one point my brother, I think, mentioned this. He was like, if you just keep buying books at the rate you read them, you're gonna have like your whole lifetime where you're just going to keep reading and buying books, but then you're not even going to be able to read them all in your lifetime. And that was a very good point. So, yeah, what I've decided is I'm not going to buy any more books unless it's like, if it's like a Christmas thing, like if somebody, like right now I have an Amazon or a Barnes & Noble gift card on my Christmas list. And so I'm guessing a lot of my family members are going to get me those for Christmas, which is cool. But the only books that I'm going to buy with those are two series that I want to finish up. One is the Percy Jackson series. Excuse me. And the other is Flavia de Luce. Because I'm already so in love with that, and I'm only like halfway through the first book. And I have the second one, as I showed you guys last time. But yeah, so I'm gonna buy those two, and then I'm also gonna buy this one book called Howard's End is on the Landing by Susan Hill. And this book is what's going to help me get through only reading books that I own, because the thing is it's by Susan Hill, and what she did is one time she was looking for Howard's End, and as she was looking for it, she found so many books that she hadn't read or that she wanted to reread that were in her house that she made a deal with herself that she was only going to read books that were in her house for a year. And she wasn't going to buy any books, and I thought that was so cool. And instead of giving myself that type of time limit, I really just want to try to go through all of the books that I own that I have not read. And the exceptions to this are, I've definitely weeded out, like there's some books that I own that I really don't want to part with, but that I probably won't ever read. And these are textbook type books that I really enjoyed having when I was in school, and that I want to keep for reference purposes, but not, these aren't the type of books that you would just flip through unless you're like trying to study for your PhD or something. So those I'm not including in this. And also, what I've done is I've gone through all of my shelves and I've weeded out the books, well, okay, 2 books, which is really sad. But I've weeded out the books that I really just do not want to read. They're books that I bought sort of on a whim, where I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. And, you know, that could have been years ago, where now I'm just like, I really have no interest in reading this. So I've kind of, yeah, it was 2 of them. But I also had others that I had already read that I just had no interest in keeping anymore. So that got rid of 6 books. But anyway, so the other thing is that I went through all of my shelves and I took out every book that is either a new book in a series that I haven't started, Or, like, sometimes I'll pick up a book that's in, like, the middle of a series if I know that I want to read the series, and I see, like, a second or third book at a cheap price, I'll pick it up. So I've weeded out all of those, and the exception to this are books that can serve as standalone. Like, I have a couple P.G. Wodehouse books, and they're in the Jeeves series, but pretty much every Jeeves book is kind of, you can read it as part of the series, but you can also read it as a standalone. And it's the same thing with the Terry Pratchett books that I own. Because I own three of the Discworld novels. And any of those are like part of their own little series, but they're also standalone reads. Like, you don't have to, or they can serve as standalone. Some of them can't, but the ones that I own can. So I'm not including those in my sequels. But for example, I put Anne of Avonlea in there. I have like the first and second book in the Leviathan trilogy. Stuff like that I've put in a box, and I am not allowed to go near that box until I have read all of my standalones and any series where I own the complete series. Because then that's easy. You can just, finish all of them. So, yes. I know this was kind of a long explanation of this, but yeah. So this is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to read all of my books, and not buy any more except for the ones that are currently on my Christmas list. But see, okay, here's my one dilemma, and I could really use y'all's opinion on this if you guys want to help me make up my mind for this. My only debate is some of the books that were on my Christmas list that I'm considering taking off of my Christmas list are specific editions of books. Specifically I really wanted some of the Penguin English Library classics. And I was considering taking those off of my Christmas list so that I can just read all of the classics that I have and then get them. But my dilemma is that specific editions, I'm always afraid, are going to go out of print. And, like, there's already some of these editions, some of the Penguin English Library editions on Book Depository that are like, we don't have it, but try Abe Books, which is a used book site. Meaning that some of them are already going out of print and out of circulation. So, yeah, that's my debate, is whether or not to leave those on my Christmas list and do get them, because I don't know how long they will be around. And please, give me an opinion. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys think, oh yeah, you're just trying to make an excuse to buy more books, or if you guys are like, hey, if these aren't going to be around for that long and you really want this specific edition, go for it. So, yeah. Okay, so this was almost 10 minutes of me talking about how I'm not really going to buy books anymore. But the cool thing is that any of my wrap-ups that you guys are going to see, you guys are definitely going to see some books that you probably haven't seen before, unless you watched my really long video where I showed you guys every book that I have not read. But that was 6 months ago, so you guys, the majority of you probably haven't watched that video. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble, and please let me know what you guys think. Please give me an opinion. And yes, any other questions, comments, or thoughts, just down below. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, bye guys!